Hi. I wanted to do a video today on um, how to make your energy more magnetic to your specific person, your twin flame, like whatever um, journey you're on, whatever label you're wanting to use. I think a lot of us, and you can put myself in that category, we get quite good at um, kind of doing all the techniques, all the manifesting stuff, the law of attraction stuff. And obviously, love is, when you're dealing with people that you have a lot of feelings for, it's one of those things that's really, really hard to drop the resistance, especially if you're kind of manifesting somebody you've already had an experience with, because there's so many bad feelings get involved in that as well. So, and so many times when, because you've grown as a person back then, there's so many things that were done that made you, nothing can make you feel unworthy outside of yourself, but they were kind of like the areas that you didn't feel worthy within yourself are highlighted by this external person, and you've kind of projected it onto them. So when you're kind of trying to manifest this, you start to think about all those like all those things that made you feel unworthy. And it's almost like you can end up going back there, and you can end up, because one of the most repelling energies is, even though we can do all this manifesting stuff, what really needs to turn it, and I've seen it time and time again, is when you're not actually coming from a place of weakness. What do I mean by that? It's like you can feel the shift and the energy change within yourself when you want to attract something or somebody, and you're thinking that you need to kind of like win them, and that they're this thing outside of yourself, and you almost like put them on a pedestal. And um, and it's this very repelling energy, because your focus your your focus isn't on on you, it's on them. So I know it's kind of like impossible when you really want somebody and you're thinking about them a lot, not to think about them. And I actually find that what is a really good way to do it is, it's not that you have to stop thinking about them, it's that you have to empower yourself that they are kind of like, why wouldn't they want to be with you? Like, I think once you find that self-love within yourself, the way you're manifesting them is a different kind of energy. And I really think it's literally like the vital thing, and it's always why things change at that moment you find it. And that's why a lot of the time when people kind of let go and they focus on their own lives and being happy, they get people come back, or they meet somebody. But then when your focus starts to shift back onto kind of pleasing that person, keeping that person, making that person happy, wanting that person to find you attractive, wanting that person to like you, that's when it all kind of like falls apart again. Because really it has to come, like you have to use that period when you're single or you've broken up with somebody, you're in between, to really truly get so much self-love that you feel this person would be like, why wouldn't they want to be with you? Like, I think the moment before it kind of like, before massive shifts happen, is always when you're in that energy of like, how could they not? Because like, I'm obviously the best person they're gonna meet, and that's not coming from like an egotistical place that there's not other amazing people out there. It's just like that kind of knowing that you're creating your environment, that you're perfect as you are. And why would you be any less than anybody else? Why wouldn't you be able to fulfill that person entirely? Why is there anything about you that is less than perfect? And I think it's when you're in that kind of energy that I know for myself, and when I see people, that's when things really, really shift. Before then, you could do all these techniques under the sun. And I do think there's like a temporary reprieve when you let go and you get that kind of like fake high. But if you haven't really, really achieved that true self-love, I think self-love like everything to do with manifestation is belief. The belief that you can have it, the belief that you can have that deep love, the belief that you can be enough for that person. Once you truly believe it, it's yours. And I think the step that can really help you truly believe is just self-love. And I know it's a really like hard path to get there. There's so many it's such a difficult thing to have in today's society. Is to truly love yourself and to truly think that there is no one out there that's better than you, and that in your own little universe you can have everything that you've ever dreamed of and want, and everything is unlimited. There's no limitation to what you can have. And like this is the key, is just you, because I really, you know, all these manifesting things, and I think once you, there's kind of two ways you can go about it. Actually, you can really work on self-love. I mean, naturally life is taking you on that journey anyway, because it kind of keeps breaking you down until you truly value yourself and love yourself. And there's lots of like little techniques that can help as well. And there's also just like manifesting stuff, and just keep doing little bits of manifestation. And I think actually that's another way into self-love, is when you truly start to actually see that you are creating your entire experience, and you start to see that like everything that you know, everything you believe, and when you really believe it, you can have, then I actually think that starts to help you feel more worthy as well, because you stop putting things outside of yourself. It really is that shift into seeing everything happens within yourself that changes everything. And there's kind of multiple ways ways into that, through like self-love and through manifesting small things till the point your belief gets so strong that you know that you've done all these smaller things so you can do the bigger thing, because you believe in your power. And yeah, believing in your power is also believing in yourself. And it's very much this shift, and it's really like a feeling. It's very hard to describe when you and when you start to kind of come out of it, you can feel when you slip back in and out, or you kind of catch yourself and you think, you know, I'm pedestaling again. I'm thinking something's outside of myself. I'm thinking that I might not be worthy enough. And then you can sort of shift that energy into like, no, you know, I am worthy. Like that person would be crazy not to want me. Like, be it a job, be it a person, like they would be crazy not to want me. And it doesn't have to come from this like really egotistical place. It comes from just a place of knowing your worth, knowing your self-worth, loving yourself, seeing yourself as God, as creator. And yeah, like I really feel like this is the missing piece. And I think that a lot of the time, I mean, we call it like chasing energy, and I think sometimes it can be really obvious that you're chasing because you're like physically chasing. I mean, I'm not like a really physical chaser. I've never really, I think apart from like once, we all have once, right? Like I haven't really like ever been a bombarder or someone that's like physically kind of over messaged. I more attract those people, but my energy has chased a lot, like most of my life, you know, because it's been thinking that I'm not worthy enough, and it's been pedestaling people and thinking that, yeah, I'm just, people think it's about looks. People will look and they'll be like, oh, you know, it's okay for this person because they're really attractive and I'm different. And it's got nothing to do with that. It's completely to do with your energy. And actually, the more you love yourself, the more glowing and attractive you look and are to people. I mean, actually, when I compare myself to like 9 years ago when I start this journey, I don't really think I look any older. If anything, I feel like I have more of a glow. Like when you start to find that self-love within yourself, you just naturally are more attractive. And it has nothing to do with looks. Trust me, I worked as a fashion photographer. I worked with so many models. Like you know, are at the highest elite, if you want, of physical attractiveness. And I used to model myself as well. And actually, when I modeled like 15 years ago, I have never felt so insecure. I've never had less men come and ask me out. I've never, because my energy was like, whoa, because I literally loathed myself so much. It was just not an attractive. It's all about your energy being magnetic. And yeah, when your energy is magnetic, you become more beautiful, you become more attractive, sort of in a glowing way. But a lot of people I do think, oh, it's okay for them because they're this. And, you know, some of the girls that I worked with in modeling, you know, I never go into stories or anything, but the amount of times that I saw these absolutely physically stunning girls being messed around by people that when I looked at them were not remotely attractive, you know, and they were being messed around, kind of told horrible like things, like they were fat and all kinds of stuff. And these were like super, super slim girls, because your external reality is just showing you how you feel about yourself on the inside. And it really, as soon as you kind of like stop seeking that validation from an external person and you can learn to find it within, and you kind of have that power shift of like, why on earth wouldn't they want to be with me? Especially if you've attracted them before, like, you know that they're attracted to you. It's just that mind state of not, like, it's a very weak position to sit there worrying that somebody might like somebody else. What if they like this person? And that's kind of how you manifest a third party into the equation. And like, oh my God, will they like me? You know, and all this energy really has to switch, I believe, for you to like successfully manifest your union, the specific person that you want to attract. You really, really have to stop hoping they're going to find you attractive. Stop like hoping you're going to be enough for them, and just like knowing you are. And kind of, it's that surprise of like, you know, how can they not feel that, because you feel so in tune and in love with yourself. So yeah, I just wanted to put this video out. I don't know why I was really inspired to talk about this tonight. Maybe because I've kind of been switching in and out of that energy a bit recently, and you know, I can really feel the change. And then you see everything start to come in when you're in that energy too. And it's a process, you know, as well. Like, we have to drop all the resistance to that, and that is a process. I wish it could be done overnight, but I mean, I certainly didn't find the way to do it overnight. And I think that's why a lot of people give up on, you know, manifesting, and sort of think it doesn't work because they try it and they don't get what they want, or they don't keep it. And that's because it's a kind of lifelong process to drop the resistance and have enough self-love and self-belief to kind of know you can have everything you want. And then when you can have everything you want, that's when you then have to tune into your soul at what your soul desire wants you to have, you know. But I really think law of attraction is super important, because I don't think you can get anywhere until you truly can see that everything that you are creating externally is because of your inner energy, and bringing that like chasing, trying to change things in the external, worrying about not being enough, till you kind of shift that within and you know you're enough inside, and you're doing the work inside. That's why it's an inner journey and an inner union first. And yeah, I just wanted to bring that message. I'm in a great energy right now, actually. I had a really, really difficult period over like the last 2 weeks. I was just purging so much and just like clearing so much of the past, like old wounds and ways I felt about things that I probably didn't even fully process at the time. And I knew as the process was happening, I think I mentioned this in my last video, that I would like come out the other side really good. And yeah, that looks like it's happening, so fingers crossed. And yeah, I really want to start making videos a lot more frequently and get back into that, and being consistent is the word. I'm not very good at being consistent. I have like little flurries and then forget about it for a bit, and then have little flurries and then forget about it for a bit. But I really do want to be more consistent, especially because I feel like I've gotten my own techniques down a lot now after like 9 years of being on this journey, um, and kind of working through things, and a few years of working with kind of manifesting, like not that long actually, deliberately. But I really feel like I'm starting to have a lot of success, and yeah, I just want to pass that on. So, okay, bye.